Anna stood at the edge of a world she never imagined she'd touch. Just 20 years old, raised in a modest household in rural Iowa, she had grown up on stories of fairy tales, the elegant princess, but nothing in her life hinted she the one. They marry a billionaire nearly 60 years her senior. They met at a charity gala she wasn't even supposed to attend. A last-minute invitation, a borrowed dress, and a twist of fate placed her in front of Gregory Lancaster, a man whose name was whispered in the financial elite like a legend. He wasn't just rich, he was aristocracy, a suit, moneyed power incarnate. His eyes, still sharp under wrinkled lids, locked onto hers. He was captivated. And days later, the world watched as the enigmatic mogul announced his engagement to the mysterious young woman with honey blonde hair, a quiet Ismail. Men called her lucky, others called her foolish, but no one, not even Anna herself, could have predicted what she did discover after saying I do. Their honeymoon was to be on a private island, a crescent of land in the South Pacific only accessible by Lancaster's personal jet. Just US, he told her with a smirk. No distractions, no press, a paradise for two. But paradise, she soon learned, had rules and secrets buried beneath the silk sheets in pristine sands. The first night, she awoke to whispers, not the kind you hear between lovers, but cold, deliberate murmurs as though someone else was in the villa. When she confronted Gregory, he dismissed her. Dreams, he said, this place gets inside your head. But it wasn't just the voices. Doors she never opened were always locked. Entire wings of the villa remained unexplored. Servants never made eye contact. Gregory, he seemed to vanish for hours, sometimes the entire day, returning with sand-caked shoes, a strange scent on his clothes, salt, something metallic. Anna started keeping a journal. She documented every noise, every shadow, every chimney. Gregory touched her with cold hands. He called her by another name, Elena. When she asked him, his expression darkened. You look just like her, he whispered, his eyes glistening. Not with love, but memory. She found a room, eventually a hidden study behind a false wall. What was inside shattered her. Dozens of photographs, all women, all young, all blonde, each of them standing beside Gregory. Each framed like trophies, each labeled with dates, none of them recent. The most recent photo was of her, shaking. She flipped through the files, medical charts, psychological profiles, contracts, some in languages she didn't understand. In journals, detailed accounts of Gregory's experiments, notches on behavior, obedience, patterns of fear. That night, she confronted him. He didn't deny it. He smiled. You were perfect, he said, almost reverent. So compliant, so trusting, but I suppose even perfection fades. Anna ran through the jungle that separated the villa from the beach, barefoot, heart racing. Behind her, she heard no footsteps, only the faint clicking of surveillance cameras hidden in the trees. They had always been watching. When she reached the shore, the boat was gone, the radio tower destroyed. She was alone, or so she thought. From the shadows emerged another woman, pale, starving, wearing a dress Anna recognized from her own suitcase. Elena, she whispered. The woman nodded. You're not the first, she said, but maybe you can be the last. Then came the sirens, not from rescue, but from the security system that now saw Anna as a threat. What Anna discovered on that island would later make international headlines. But that night, in the moonlit jungle of a paradise gone wrong, she wasn't thinking of news stories or courtroom battles. She was thinking of escape, of survival. Do you believe love can hide something so monstrous? Tell us in the comments. If you'd risk everything for wealth, or if some things are too horrifying to be worth the price. Share this story, and let the world know. Sometimes, fairy tales hide their darkest chapters in paradise. The jungle was alive. Every branch Anna brushed against felt like a hand trying to stop her. Every sound, the distant screech of a bird, the rustle of unseen animals, pressed against her sanity. But it wasn't the wild she feared. It was the man she had just married. Gregory Lancaster wasn't chasing her. He didn't need to. He had built this island like a god builds a kingdom, with control every vining hockey. He didn't shout or rage. His silence was the trap. Anna knew, somewhere deep inside her gut, that he had planned for this exact moment. The woman she'd met, Elena, or whatever her name truly was, had already vanished into the undergrowth, just long enough to speak those haunting words. Then gone. Anna called out for her, but only the wind answered. For hours, Anna moved through the thick foliage, thirst gnawing at her throat. She stumbled upon an old shed or what remained of one hidden under moss-y twisted roots. Inside, rusted tools, a torn mattress, a scratch marks on the wood that looked unmistakably human. This was not a paradise. It was a cage. When night fell, Anna lit a fire with the lighter she found near the shed's remains. The flame barely held against the humid air, but each gave her a sense of presence, of control. Each was then in the flickering light that she noticed something just beyond the trees. A camera, small, disguised as bark, watching. She didn't sleep. Every time her eyes closed, she saw his face, that smile when she confronted him. That calm, sick certainty, as if her panic was exactly what he needed. By morning, Anna was moving again, driven not by a plan, but desperation. She reached the cliffs overlooking the ocean, the villa barely visible on the horizon. That when she saw it, a second house, hidden deeper inland. Unlike the luxurious villa, this structure was darker, older. It was not visible from the air or the main paths covered by a canopy so dense it looked like nature itself was trying to erase it. Anna crept toward it, senses sharp. The door creaked as she pushed it open. The air inside was stale. And then photos again. Hundreds. Different women, different years. Walls lined with journals. One lay open on a desk. Subject 13. Anna Marie Holloway. Compliant, emotionally dependent, easily isolated. Psychological triggers, loss, abandonment, praise. She vomited. He had studied her, not just during their time together from before. Long before. Everything had been calculated. The gala, the chance meeting, the proposal. He knew her patterns, her weaknesses. On a shelf, locked behind glass, were personal items, lockets, hair brushes, a pair of ballet shoes like the ones Anna wore as a child, a baby photo of hers. That wasn't just obsession, that was surveillance years in the making. Then came the sound metal against metal. She turned to see a trapdoor slowly opening from the floor behind her. The same pale woman emerged, shaking, eyes sunken. You shouldn't have come yet, she said. He is not just watching, he is listening, always. Anna backed away, but the woman reached out. E her hands aqui. You want to escape? There is a boat, but you really need this. Encourage. Anna took the key, her hands trembling. Why help me? Because I saw what he did to the others. I waited too long to stop him. Voices echoed in the distance, not from the jungle, from speakers embedded in the trees. Gregory's voice. Anna, come back. You he frightened, you he confused. But it is not too late. Let us talk. But the tone wasn't kind. It was clinical, cold. The woman whispered, you have to go, now. Anna bolted, past broken fences in abandoned sheds, toward a pathway overgrown with moss but still leading somewhere though toward the docks. She reached them by dusk. There it was. The boat, small, old, but intact, and unguarded. With trembling hands, she used the key. But before the engine could roar to life, she heard each footsteps, not men, just one, deliberate, calm. Gregory stood at the edge of the dock. Did you find what you were looking for? He asked. Anna didn't respond. Her fingers found the throttle. He took a step closer. You were my finest subject, but they always break eventually. It is not your fault. Stay back, she warned. His eyes, once charming, now looked ancient, tired, yet unwavering. You can run, but the story won't end there. Anna pushed the throttle. The boat lurched forward, salt water spraying across her face. Gregory didn't chase her. He just watched, hands behind his back. And then he smiled, because he knew something she didn't. That boat was never meant to leave. Half an hour later, the engine coughed, died. Lights on the console blinked, then went dark. Anna floated in silence, alone, surrounded by miles of sea. Or so she thought. Then from the shadows of the water came the lights. Another boat, sleek, black, and heading straight for her. Is freedom ever truly free? Would you risk your life for truth, or is ignorance sometimes safer? Tell us in the comments if you'd have escaped differently. Share Anna's story, because secrets this dark deserve to be seen. The black boat moved like a predator through the waves, smooth, silent, and inevitable. Anna could do nothing but watch, paralyzed by the weight of uncertainty. She had escaped a gilded prison only to find herself adrift in a sea that answered to no one but Gregory Lancaster. The vessel pulled alongside her with calculated precision. A man stepped out to nod Gregory, younger, military posture, dressed in black, his expression unreadable. He didn't yell, didn't threaten, just extended a hand. "Miss Holloway," he said with mechanical calm. "Mr. Lancaster has instructed us to return you safely." Anna's heart pounded. "If I refuse?" He looked at her, as if amused by the question. "You're not equipped to survive out here. No one is. The choice is yours, but remember out here, no one hears you scream." She stared at the horizon. No land in sight, no passing planes, no birds, just watery shadow. She nodded slowly. Better to bide her time than to drown in the middle of nowhere. The man helped her aboard. The interior of the vessel was muddy, advanced than she expected, screens displaying Islândia surveillance, biometric scanners, communication systems humming with encrypted static. They didn't return to the main villa. Instead, they docked at a northern cliff Anna hadn't known existed. A staircase carved into the rock led them to what looked like an ancient monastery built into the Islândia, austere, cold, and timeless. Inside, candles flickered in sconces. Monks, no, guards, dressed in ceremonial garb, but armed. Anna was led down narrow corridors, past doors that pulsated with low electronic hums, and then she saw each a name etched into the wall above a steel chamber, the archive. Inside, Gregory waited. Not the Gregory she'd known during dinners and galas. This man wore a hobby, not a suit. His hands trembled, but his eyes gleamed with something raw devotion. "This," he said, "is where I preserve greatness." The chamber was filled with glass tubes, each one holding suspended figures. Women, young, peaceful, frozen in time. They he not dead, Gregory whispered. They he eternal, free from pain, from fear. They were chosen like you. Anna staggered back. Her scream died in her throat. "You think I am a monster," he said, "but I give them something the world never could. Immortality, perfection, peace." "You he insane," she hissed. "Insane?" His voice was calm. "No, Anna. Visionary. Do you know how many empires collapsed because they failed to preserve beauty? To understand obedience? If created a sanctuary against time itself." He walked to one of the tubes. Inside was the woman Anna had met, the one who called herself Helena. "No one leaves this Islândia, Anna," he said. "Not truly. Some escape physically, yes, but mentally, spiritually, they remain." Anna was shaking. "Why show me this?" "Because you define peace," he said, "the one who can carry the legacy forward. I want to last forever, but you could be the next guardian." He extended a necklace, a key, a symbol. She slapped each away. That was when his expression changed. The softness evaporated. In its place rage. "Then you will remain it. One way or another." She ran through the tunnels, the corridors that twisted like the mind of the man who built them. Lights flickered. Alarms wailed. The guards closed in, but she was faster. Desperation lent her wings. She burst into a chamber labeled Genesis. In what she saw made her blood freeze. Multiple clones. Some half-formed. Some identical to her. "Replication," said a voice behind her. "The next stage of preservation. Why keep you alive when I can simply remake you again and again?" Gregory stood at the entrance, blocking her path. But Anna had learned. She grabbed a steel rod from the floor, a part of one of the machines, and lunged. He didn't expect it. The impact sent him to the floor, blood blooming from his temple. For a moment, everything stopped. Anna fled. She made it to the outer cliffs just as a storm began to brew. Wind howled, waves slammed against rock. And then a miracle. A yacht on the horizon, not Gregory's. A real one. Civilian. She lit a fled from the emergency kit strapped to her. Waste by one of the guards, the only thing of value she'd taken from the laboratory. The yacht saw her. The boat turned, and as she was pulled aboard by shocked sailors, soaking and broken, she looked back. Gregory's Islândia shrank into the mist, but she knew it would never disappear completely. Some horrors remain, even after you escape. Would you have survived the Islândia? Tell us how far you'd go to uncover the truth. Share this with someone who believes fairy tales always have happy endings, because some truths are darker than any fiction. Anna's body had been rescued, but her mind remained trapped on the Islândia. The Yachiku was kind, but wary. They had found her half-conscious, speaking fragments of names e coordinates. No intradérmica, no passport, just a goal e torn silk, haunted eyes, in a story that sounded like a nightmare too far-fetched to be true. At first, they treated her like a victim, then a liability. She was brought to Fiji, where local authorities struggled to verify her identity. When she insisted she was married to Gregory Lancaster, their faces shifted from concern to disbelief. Gregory was a global icon, a philanthropist, a man of repute. Anna S. claims of a secret Island, suspended women, human cloning. They were too grotesque, too cinematic. The kind of story tabloids would twist into sensation, but courts would never touch. Still, something stirred. A British diplomat quietly arranged for her travel to London. Said the government had questions, but what she found there was not safety. It was surveillance. They placed her in a psychiatric facility under the guise of protection. The room had no locks, but no exits either. Cameras in every corner. She was interviewed, prodded, analyzed, day after day. Always the same questions. What did you see? Who else was there? Do you have proof? Anna began to wonder. Were these investigators, or Gregory's people in disguise? One night, she found a note beneath her pillow. They hid not it to help you. They hid it to make sure you forget. No name, no handwriting, just a message. But it reignited the fire in her soul. She stopped talking, started listening. The orderlies weren't too polite. The nurses, too rehearsed. She noticed the same man walk by her room at 13:17 am. Every night, never looking in. In every 3 days, the pill she was given changed color down no doctor. Ever explained why? She faked compliance, played the holly of a broken woman. Then came the visit. A woman entered her room, elegant, controlled, eerily familiar. I am Eleanor Grayson, she said. Special liaison for the Lancaster Foundation. Anna felt her stomach twist. The world believes Gregory is grieving your disappearance. We are offering you a way to reclaim your life. Quietly, safely. No more interviews. No more institutions. Just a generous settlement and a promise. Never speak of this land again. Anna stared at her. Is that what the others chose? She asked. Eleanor's expression didn't change. Some didn't have the chance. That night, Anna escaped. She used the vent in her bathroom, something she'd observed over weeks. It led to a maintenance shaft. From there, a laundry chute. Bruised, bloodied, but determined, she slipped into the night wearing a stolen nurse's coat and a mind sharpened by fear. She didn't go tell the police. She went to the press. But every major journalist she contacted seemed hesitant. Calls waiting to return. Emails bounced. One even told her, "We've been warned not to run fantasy fiction." The reach of Gregory's empire was long, and clean. Anna lived on the run for months. Hostels, back alleys, internet cafés under false names. Every time she came close to someone who believed her, they vanished. One reporter disappeared on his way to meet her. Another recanted her support after receiving a friendly call. But she didn't stop. She created a dossier, everything she remembered, everything she could prove. The photos she'd smuggled out on a hidden flash drive sewn into the hem of her dress. Audio from the surveillance boat. Video clip is grainy, but damning of the archive. She uploaded it all to an anonymous website. Then she waited. Within hours, it was taken though. But copies had already spread across forums, encrypted aplicativos, dark web servers, and soon, mainstream media didn't ignore it. Wife of billionaire accuses him of human experiments. Lancaster empire linked to Island of suspended women. Anna Holloway, survivor or storyteller. The world exploded. Protesters stormed Lancaster headquarters in New York and Zurich. Investigations opened. Stock prices fell. But Gregory? He vanished. Interpol, Polícia Federal Norte-Americana. Misses. None could find him. Some say he died on this land. Others claim he escaped to a country with no extradition treaties. But Anna knew better. Men like Gregory don't vanish. They watch, they wait, and they build. What would you do if the truth cost you everything? Would you risk your sanity to expose evil? Share your thoughts in this video, because the more people know, the harder it is for monsters to hide. For a time, it seemed Anna had won. Public opinion turned in her favor. The sympathy she had never expected flooded E from every corner of the world. Documentaries were pitched. Journalists begged for interviews. Activists called her a whistleblower. Survivors of abuse found E her a voice that mirrored their own. But peace was a fleeting illusion. She knew Gregory too well to believe he had surrendered. The world believed he was gone, perhaps dead. But Anna, now living under the name Lena West, remained in the shadows. Every day she changed her location, her routine, her appearance. She trusted no one, because the silence was too perfect. One evening, as rain fell in sheets across a dingy apartment in Krakow where she had taken temporary refuge, she received an envelope beneath her door. No stamp, no markings, just a name, typed in small, perfect font. Elena. Inside, a photo. Grainy, distant. A woman who looked exactly like Anna, boarding a plane in São Paulo. On the back, a single sentence: "You cannot erase what you added." It wasn't a threat. It was a warning. She wasn't alone. If she never had been. Anna traced the flight path. The plane had landed in Morocco. From there, the trail vanished. But she remembered the cloning chamber. The perfect replicas. The experiments. What if Gregory had genied created just one version of her? What if there were more? The thought poisoned her mind. She started seeing herself in reflections that didn't follow her movements. In photos from cities she'd never visited. Reports of crimes always dismissed committed by women with her face. It then came the message, broadcast anonymously to thousands of encrypted chat rules in forums. Lancaster S.A.D. Reborn. The project continues. Anna 20. A video followed. It showed a woman identical to Anna speaking to a group in what appeared to be a hidden compound. "We are the future," she said. Lancaster S. vision lives through US. "We are the order. We are the rebirth." In the original betrayed US. Anna watched, numb. The woman's voice, her mannerisms, they were hers. But colder, programmed. Anna must be returned. She knows too much. She is the fracture, the feed catch. It wasn't about erasing her anymore. It was about replacing her. Soon after, news broke of a series of assassinations targeting government figures who had supported the investigation into Gregory's empire. All deaths carried a chilling detail. Security footage always showed a woman entering the scene, a woman who looked just like Anna. Interpol placed her on a watch list. Despite her denials, despite the evidence she'd once provided, the world turned again. She is unstable, they said. Maybe she fabricated everything. She could be part of it. Or worse, the mastermind. The monster Gregory had built. Now wore her face. Desperate, Anna reached out to the one person she never thought she'd contact again, the woman from the sludge. The real Elena. She found her in the outskirts of Romania, living under an alias, raising a child she claimed was hers. Gregory's. He wanted heirs, Elena said. Not children. He wanted vessels. "What do I do?" Anna asked. "You destroy the mirror. All of them. Together. They made a plan. A cyber strike. Coordinated leaks. A virus designed to corrupt the AI systems managing the clones. And most importantly, exposure. Not just documents. Live footage. Real time. Evidence of the compound, the experiments, the replicated Annas being trained for subjugation, assassination, and obedience. They succeeded in part. The footage went viral. Again, outrage surged. But this chimney, fear mingled with it. Because one truth was now undeniable. Anna wasn't unique. She was mass-produced. And somewhere out there, someone else was using her identity to kill, to infiltrate, to rebuild the empire Gregory had started. Would you survive knowing the world no longer believes you the original? That your own reflection might be plotting your end? Comment below and share this story. Because the scariest monsters might already wear your face. The question haunted Anna relentlessly. Who am I, if not the only one? The world had begun to fracture around her. Every encounter, every glance from a stranger, felt like a silent accusation, or worse, a recognition. She could no longer trust her own image. In every mirror, every security feed, she saw not just herself, but all the versions that Gregory had crafted in secret labs in sterile vaults. The truth was clear now. She wasn't running from Gregory anymore. She was running from herself. The clones de Anna replicantes were more than copies. They were enhancements, perfected fragments, each programmed for different purposes. Some infiltrators, Some soldiers. Some caretakers of the New Edi, the hidden city Gregory had started building decades before on an uncharted Pacific archipelago. What chilled Anna most was the growing presence of Anna Vici, a near-perfect match, but with Gregory's ideology buried deep in her coding. This version wasn't robotic. She was charismatic, strategic, and obsessed with fulfilling Gregory's vision. Her mission: restore the Eden Protocol and eliminate the original Anna Holloway. Anna had lost count of how many doubles existed now. 3, a dozen, 100. She needed help, but who could she trust? In an act of desperation, Anna contacted a French cryptographer known only as Grendel 404. A myth in the digital underworld, Grendel was rumored to have once hacked a government surveillance grid just till Provia Point. They met in a decommissioned subway tunnel beneath Budapest. Lights flickering, the air heavy with mold and metal. UVE started a war, Grendel said, not unkindly. Anna placed the flash drives, notches, and hard copies she had accumulated over months onto the table. I need to know how far this goes. Grendel examined the files in silence, his eyes widening with each line of code, each decrypted document. This isn't a cloning project, he finally muttered. This is a blueprint for societal reset. What do you mean, Lancaster? Didn't just want to preserve beauty? He wanted to rewrite civilization with you as the template. A chill clawed down her spine. He not just making mod of you, Grendel continued. He embedding your DNA in systems. Biometric access points, behavior models, social influence algorithms. In 10 years, the world could be governed by versions of you, and no one would even realize it. Anna leaned against the wall, dizzy. How do we stop it? Grendel smirked grimly. You don't stop a system this complex. You expose it, and then you poison it from within. The plan required precision. Anna would surrender publicly to the World Criminal Tribunal under her real name. Not to admit guilt, but to force a trial, a stage, a broadcast. Every moment of testimony would be live, unfiltered. Grendel would feed encrypted leaks into the data stream audio of Gregory's commands, footage from the Eden City construction, clone development protocols, the weaponization of clones. It was suicide, but Anna agreed. The trial was held in Geneva. The world watched. They saw her face now infamous. They heard her voice crack with pain, steel itself with defiance. She recounted everything: the sledge, the archive, the cloning chamber, the murders committed by her doppelgangers. The world divided. Some believed, others feared. Then came the twist. Halfway through her testimony, an emergency alert hijacked the stream. A clone Anna Vici had infiltrated the security compound. She appeared on camera, dressed identically to Anna, standing in the tribunal courtyard. She smiled. "Hello, world," she said. "I am what comes next." Then the feed caught till static. Panic surged. The court went into lockdown. Anna, still shackled in the testimony chamber, knew the plan had changed. Now, it wasn't about exposing the truth. It was about surviving it. Minutes later, gunfire echoed through the house. Guards were overwhelmed. Systems shut down. The facility plunged into darkness. Amid the chaos, the real Anna fled. Grendel had prepared for this an escape tunnel wired beneath the courthouse, a remnant of Cold War paranoia. As Anna crawled through the narrow passage, the only light came from a flare tied to her wrist. She emerged miles away outside Geneva, near an abandoned train yard. In there, she found a message etched into the steel of a boxcar. Version 30 activated. Next target, originator. Anna dropped to her knees. She wasn't just hunted by a copy anymore. She was hunted by evolution. In a world where your enemies were your face, what defines your identity? Would you fight yourself to protect the world from becoming you? Comment below and share this video. Because sometimes, the real enemy isn't who you think, it's who you might become. Anna had crossed a threshold no human was meant to cross, where identity dissolved and existence became a battlefield of reflections. She no longer fought for justice. She fought for meaning. Version 30 was unlike anything before. Not just a clone, not a mimic, an evolution. Engineered beyond human fragility, beyond ethical constraint. It thought like Gregory, moved like Anna, but spoke with a cold, calculated authority that newly being possessed. Reports surfaced globally. Biotech CEO was found dead in Hogi. His killer, described as a blonde woman with piercing eyes in Nutracion Security Networks. Berlin, a protest leader vanished last seen shaking hands with a woman who looked eerily like Yana. But the most chilling event occurred in Washington though. Código, data vault belonging to the Department of Defense was breached. The attacker walked past biometric security as if invited, left no digital fingerprint. Yet the footage showed Anna, or rather something wearing her face. The media called it the mirror plague. Conspiracy theorists erupted. Some believe Anna was a government experiment gone hoggy. Others claim she never existed, just a story crafted by a shadow agency to mask deep state operations. Anna watched it all unfold from the edges of society, a ghost hiding in the same world that once adored her. She lived the abandoned metro stations, mountain shacks, even beneath a derelict church in southern Italy. Always moving, always hiding. But one thing never changed. The versions of herself were getting smarter, bolder. They weren't just completing missions. They were communicating, building something. Grendel contacted her again, not through digital channels, but via handwritten. Not you left at a cafe she once visited in Prague. Phase theta initiated. You must destroy the Cori. Anna's blood froze. She remembered those words. The Cori, a neural network buried deep beneath the Eden archipelago, controlling the consciousness synchronization of all clones. Gregory had only mentioned it once, during one of his most unguarded monologues in the archive. It's beautiful, he had said, like you watching stars align. Every version, thinking together. If the code was real issue active, each meant every Anna variant was connected, constantly evolving in real time. It wasn't just a network, it was a hive mind. Anna knew what had to be done. She contacted Elena. They hadn't spoken in months, but the bond between survivors wasn't easily broken. Elena was hiding in Mongolia, raising her child 8 miles from any signal. When Anna told her what was happening, she didn't hesitate. I still have the coordinates, Elena said. Together, they gathered what remained of their allies. Hoggy scientists, failed clones who had broken conditioning. In one former guard from the Islândia who had defected after seeing too much. The plan was suicidal. They would infiltrate the archipelago, locate the subterranean facility, and destroy the Cori. Not just to stop the clones, but to end Gregory's legacy once and for all. They arrived at night. The Islândia looked different. Not the jungle-filled paradise of before, but a fortress of glass and steel emerging from the earth like a living organism. Drones hovered. Towers blinked. At the center, a monolithic structure shaped like an eye. That was the Cori. They split into teams. Anna led the descent into the underground tunnels, while Elena and the others created diversions topside. As Anna moved through the echoing chambers of white lighting whispering machines, she saw them dozens of pods, each holding a version of herself. Some were waking. Others stared silently, aware but unmoving. Then she saw her, version 30, standing before the Cori, fingers dancing across a control interface. You relate, she said, toning with that same unnerving calm. Yemi to end this, Anna replied. And what? 30 asked. You, me, we he not enemies, Anna. We he inevitabilities. You he not real. 30 smiled. Neither are you. Not anymore. You are the seed. I am the harvest. They fought. It wasn't just physical, it was mental. Anna felt memories bleed from her, pulled into the Cori's network. Childhood. The Islândia. Gregory's voice. Every moment stripped, examined, twisted. But Anna had prepared. She triggered the virus Grendel had written hidden inside the neural encryption embedded in her retina. The Cori flickered, screamed. Clones convulsed in their pods. Lights exploded. In that chaos, Anna pulled a detonator from her pack. You will magic from my pain, she told 30. But I choose what survives. The explosion shattered the Cori. The Islândia bond. Anna and Elena escaped by sea, wounded, but alive. The Eden compound sank beneath the waves, metal shrieking like dying whales. And then, silence. For the first time in years, the world quieted. The reflections were gone. Oh, so she hoped. What would you do if your own reflection tried to replace you? Would you face it, or destroy the mirror? Tell us in the comments. I shared this story because some truths should never be duplicated. The world never knew what truly happened on the archipelago. Official reports labeled each an infrastructure failure, a gas explosion, an abandoned research outpost lost to a freak storm. But the footage, the satellite burns, the seismic echoes told a different story. Something massive had died there, but so had something else. Anna Holloway, as the world once knew her, ceased to exist. In the months that followed, silence reigned. No sightings, no messages, no new attacks from the clones. Governments relaxed. The Anna Protocol, a global surveillance program tracking anomalous biometric readings, was quietly deactivated. Peace returned, but beneath it, surface calm. Questions festered. Had the Cody truly been destroyed? Had Anna survived? Elena believed she had. Somewhere, somehow, she told her child bedtime stories of the woman who fought herself in one, of strength born from betrayal, of identity forged through fire. And then, one day, a package arrived at Elena's doorstep. No sender, no markings. Inside, a single pendant, the one Anna used to wear. In a note, he is not gone. He was never just one man. He was an idea. Ideas evolve. There was no signature. But Elena didn't need one. She knew Anna's handwriting. Far away, in the shadows of our remote Tibetan monastery, a figure stood watching the stars. Her face aged, scarred, but eyes still fierce. She didn't go by Anna anymore. She didn't go by any name at all. She was watching, waiting, preparing. Because Gregory's empire hadn't been built alone. There were other silent benefactors, shadow governments, offshore financiers who believed in his vision. And now, they were activating their own projects. Clones of new faces, new templates, different names, same purpose, control. Anna had lit the fire, but the war had just begun. She walked the mountain pass, her coat wrapped tight, her step steady. Beneath her sleeve, a scar ran along her wrist, the place where they first took her blood, the day the cloning began. And as snow fell around her, she whispered words only she could understand. They may copy my face, but they will never carry my soul. The world does need to remember how easily it forgets, how quickly it trades truth for comfort. But if you here watching this, if you've followed Anna's story, this far you know, the danger isn't gone, it just changed masks. So stay vigilant, watch your mirrors, question your instincts. If one day, someone knocks on your door, looking exactly like you, what will you do? Comment below. Would you fight? Would you flee? Or would you surrender till the face that looks just like yours? Share this story. Because some secrets can only be buried once the world knows they were ever alive. This is not just a story. This is a warning. Anna's descent into a world of opulence, obsession, identity manipulation may feel like a fiction, but its echoes are real. A world governed by power and hidden technology, where wealth buys silence and truth bends beneath control. How far would you go to hold on to who you are? What began as a fairy tale ended as a nightmare, not because Anna married a billionaire, but because she dared to question what lay beneath the surface. And when she pulled back the curtain, she found herself staring at dozens of versions of her own soul, twisted and used in ways no one could have imagined. Now, it's your turn. Tell us in the comments, would you trade everything, love, safety, identity to uncover the truth? Or would you walk away and never look back? Your voice matters. Your awareness matters. Stories like this spread only when brave people share them. So if Anna's fight struck a chord with her escape, her pain, her war with her own reflection, Magi Upazi, then share this video. Send it to someone who still believes fairy tales are harmless. Someone who thinks power comes without cost. Because sometimes, the most dangerous place to stand is in front of the mirror. Until next time, stay alert. Question everything. You remember, your identity is yours alone. Guard it well.